Friends and neighbors, I'm back. I've been away for a little while, a long while, but I'm back. And if you're looking for a way to improve your groove game and your soloing game at the same time, check this out. Friends and neighbors, welcome back to the Brownstone. I'm glad you are here and I'm glad to be home. I've been away, I've been on tour for a very long time, and it's good to be home. I was on the road with two different bands. I went on the road with Jeremy Ledbetter and his trio in support of our new album called Gravity. And then I also hit the road for a couple of weeks in Europe with Steve Coleman and his band Five Elements in support of our new album called Polytropos of Many Turns. That's me right there. I had an amazing time playing some great music with some great musicians. Do check out those albums if you are into some good music or if you just want to hear what I'm doing. So today I wanted to get into a very simple idea, and that is the idea of recognizing where you are in one position and where that position will exist an octave higher. This is great, and you see a lot of players, especially gospel players, get into this idea where they might be playing a bass line and then play a fill in, the higher register of the bass. But really what they're doing is they're playing the same licks that they would play down here, but only playing them an octave higher. So if I have something based on a major pentatonic scale, then I want to be able to duplicate that an octave higher. So if you're more of an intermediate player or more of an advanced player, then try this exercise. You can even try this exercise if you're a beginner. But basically, it's a call and response kind of thing where you might start by repeating what you play an octave higher and alternating between the two. Or you could do the kind of idea where you play an idea in the lower register and then respond to that idea an octave higher. I'm dealing with G major, but I'm really thinking of like a funky kind of G7 sort of vibe. So it's major, but I have the flat 7, which means the minor pentatonic scale will also work as kind of a bluesy sort of harmony. So let's say I play a very simple groove. So that's based on a G7 kind of harmony. If you want to know what it is, I'm just playing G up to the octave at the 5th fret of the D string, and then I'm playing the 6th of the scale and the 7th, the flat 7th or the minor 7th of the scale. The notes are G to G and then E to F on the D string. And then I'll go back to the octave, and then I'll play that minor third to major third on the A string. So B flat to B natural. And that's the line. Maybe I'll copy that up here. Right? So now I've established my line. So see what I did there? I played this little lick. So let's say I take that last lick there and just play that phrase an octave higher. I get. So this is what I mean by the call and response. So you play something comfortable, and then you play a fill on that groove. So you heard the fill that I played. So then when that groove comes around again to that one section where you played the fill before, play that same fill an octave higher. Check this out. Right? So that's all I'm doing. I'm trying to see this position up here. So here I'm on the G major, 3rd fret of the E string, and dealing with a major pentatonic or basically a major scale with a flat 7, Mixolydian scale or a dominant 7th chord, however you want to call it. It's just a major harmony where the 7th of the scale is minor or flat. So then I get these kind of cool so here I've got, well, what I just played was there's the 9th, there's the minor 3rd, sorry, the minor 7th, and then I played the major 3rd in 2 octaves. So you can do this in any key. Now, here's the other cool thing. I have quite a few videos, lessons on this channel regarding the pentatonic scale and how to connect the entire fingerboard using the pentatonic scale. Here's the cool thing. If I make that jump from, let's say, the G major pentatonic here in this sort of root position up to the higher octave, starting at the, 15th fret of the E string, that is also a G. How do I know that? Well, I know that that double dot is the 12th fret, and that's where everything starts over again. In other words, I've got E, A, D, and G. And then at the 12th fret, I've got E, A, D, and G. To me, this is the key to being able to recognize the positioning, because if I see this as my open strings where the bass sort of starts over again, then it's easy for me to also see the bass as it starts over again, really. Because if I know that I can play E, F, G, then I also know that I can play E, F, G from the 12th fret. Do you know what I mean? So in recognizing that, that means that the G major pentatonic scale exists 3 notes above the 12th fret on the E string. See how I got that? The 12th fret is the same as the open strings. So then if I see that as like the beginning of the bass, then I can also see where all my positions are. Now, here's the other thing. If you remember the pentatonic lessons that I've had on this channel before, then you might remember that there are a couple of different ways and different positions to play the same scale using the major and the minor pentatonic. If I'm playing off of that G major pentatonic, then you may or may not recognize the fact that E minor pentatonic is going to be the exact same scale. It's the same scale, just starting from a different note. I've got a bunch of videos on that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check those out. So obviously we can use this idea to our advantage, because if I can recognize that I've got the G major pentatonic scale and the E minor pentatonic scale, then I can use both of these scales to my advantage and just see it as one shape, right? So then if I'm playing that groove, see what I'm doing there? So here I'm thinking of the groove and playing that bass line, but then when I go to play a fill, I'm working with the E minor pentatonic scale because it's the same scale. So this is a lesson all about recognition. It's all about recognizing the options available to you when you go an octave higher from where you are. These are the kinds of ideas that the gospel cats really excel at, because they are able to see those shapes beyond where they're already playing. And then they access them whenever they want, and then, everything sounds absolutely mind-blowing. So these are the building blocks to help you to get to that place. The key is recognition, knowing where you are at all times, knowing where you are in a given moment, but also in that moment, knowing what's happening an octave above where you are, and then what else is available in that area once you get there. This is always home, right? Here I'm thinking of the G major pentatonic scale as home. But in this particular case, home exists in two places, because I've got, and then at the 15th fret, I've got the octave higher. And if I recognize that, then I can also recognize that here I've got G major pentatonic, which is the same as E minor pentatonic. So now there's more information that I can access at a higher part of the neck in a higher register that will allow me to go for some licks that can really help propel the groove and make you stand out a little bit more as the bassist. Not that you want to do that all the time. That's how you get fired. But it'll help to make you add your signature stamp to the music. Here's the other thing that we can use to our advantage. The fact that because we're playing on this sort of dominant seventh harmony that features the minor seventh and the major third, as I mentioned before, the G minor pentatonic scale will work over this groove. So now we have even more options that we can work with. I can play G major pentatonic, G minor pentatonic, and E minor pentatonic, and then it'll all work. So if I get into a groove, friends and neighbors, I'm going to leave it there. The key is recognition, recognition, recognition. Knowing where you are in a home position, but also recognizing where that home position exists an octave above wherever you might be playing. And that's it, friends and neighbors. Listen, if you like this video, do me a favor, click the old like button. There are links in the description box to like, share, donate, whatever, join the channel. All of the above is greatly appreciated. And I thank you once again for joining me here in the Brownstone, and I'll see you in the next video soon. Peace.